a while, but they didn't change my mind. And so I just started putting on all the weight. And month and a half ago, I didn't even want to leave the house anymore. I was getting behind on orders. I was finding myself sleeping during the day. I get up and maybe even sleep mid-afternoon, you know. I was on a spiral. And I just happened to comment on something it was a simple little comment on Trish, and she's like, I'm calling you. And I am about 16 inches off my body now, 5 inches off my mid waist. And that is
great.
Absolutely fantastic for women. You know, that's where we carry it. And that is really bad for our health. Energy wise, I mean, ladies, I have been up since 4:30 this morning on my full pot of coffee, decaffeinated. I've already shaved a poodle. I've started a grooming table cover for somebody, and my energy is unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, and I hit the 20-pound mark.
Awesome.
So just 4 weeks.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know what else? I'm an artist, and I stand at my easel and I paint, and I have to stand up to paint. I can't sit. I have to stand up at my easel to paint. And I would have to bring over a bar stool or something to set on every once in a while because my back would hurt or my stomach would hurt. And I couldn't do it. I could stand there now for hours and paint and not have any pain. When me and Trisha first started this, I really thought I was going to have to go into surgery for hernia again. I've had 3 hernia surgeries. And I went to my doctor. When was this? What's today? It would have been Tuesday. I went to my doctor, and they did another CAT scan, and my muscles are all closed back up because of the weight that I lost and the inches I lost on my stomach. My muscles went back together. No hernia surgery for Cindy.
Yay.
I love that.
That's great.
Exciting. You didn't even tell me that. That's so cool.
I know. I forgot. But I mean, I probably wasn't going to do the surgery anyway. I was like, I'm not going to do this. But knowing that he said that, it was great. So.
Yeah. And she decided to pay it forward very shortly after because she just started seeing so many results right away. And so that's just honestly.
And after I started talking to more people, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to help these guys and to ride on this journey together, you know? So I'm excited.
I love that helping other people is the best thing you can do for yourself. Even if you need no extra income or whatever, it's the mindset changes that start happening. You've said it before that it's just, they changed your body, but they didn't change your brain for you.
That's right.
And so when we get to help other people, if it just kind of has that added bonus of helping you, that's the only reason why you guys are all here is because Trish said, well, I hope that works because I'm thinking you can't be a fat health coach. So let me try this tonight, Yo-Yo.
Yeah,
that's truly what it came down to. So awesome. So Christine, would you share your story? Because I love your story too.
Well, I started program, it's been just 2 years, so 2 years and a month, I think. And I started coaching within a month, maybe a month and a half, I guess. I wanted to go to convention, so I started coaching to go to convention. Don't ask me why. Except for I loved convention that year. So I've lost 80 pounds. I have tried everything before, and actually surgery was going to be my next line. That's what I was going to go for. And my mom got on program a month before, and she wanted to pay it forward to her family. She's no longer coaching, but she wanted to pay it forward for her family. So she brought me on. I resisted for a whole 12 hours and then decided that I was going to jump on. But for me, the weight loss has been great. But it is the other stuff that's come along. My fibromyalgia is pretty much gone. I have some flares, but maybe it'll last a day, maybe it'll last a couple of days, but it never lasts beyond that. Whereas before I'd be 6, 7, 8 months in a flare, which is never fun. And but my mental weight has been a it's like I've lost, probably 1,000 pounds of mental weight. I just kind of do things now. I'm more open. I'm more out there. I'm learning. I was a control freak, a controlling perfectionist. So you take those two, holy cannoli, you've got a messed up mess right there. But I'm learning grace for myself and mercy and compassion, and I wouldn't have found that without this program. I just don't think it would have ever been there. So but yesterday I did, bye Megan. Yesterday I did a 2-minute plank. I'd been doing 30, I didn't hold it for a whole 2 minutes, but I do 30-second stints. Yesterday I was able to actually hold it for 45. So it's like, okay, I'm like, I can do this now. Because I was like, oh my gosh, if I have to do 4.5 minutes and 30-second stints, at least I get it done, but
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
it's a progressive growth thing for sure, but I love that we're always encouraged to be better in this environment, whatever that looks like, was it mentally, physically, or financially. We're always encouraged. And so, yeah, I was looking at
with the fibromyalgia. What do you think? Why is the pain less now? Is it the weight, or is it the less inflammation, or don't you know?
No, yes to both. But being an that was uh-oh.
Hold on, I'm muted.
I developed it. They don't know how or why people get it. Some people do, some people don't. It's caused by sickness. For me, it was my son. After I had my son, and he's going to be 30 this year. He did not sleep very much. I was surviving on 15 to 20 minute stints of sleep, 24-hour period. And so that it just developed. But food absolutely will cause a flare to come up. So if I know if I eat now if I go on vacation, I can expect a flare because I'll eat bread, or I'll relax some stuff that I wouldn't normally eat on program. And so I can usually expect a flare. And if a flare doesn't come, it's usually the brain fog that'll come along. Within 3 days of program, I'm back out and I'm off. I go lock in 5 and 1 and boom, I'm off and it's gone.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Sugar's a huge part.
And is that for everybody with fibromyalgia, or is that you?
Most of the time it's sugar or food or inflammation. I know some people that have cut that out and they still have it. I was very, very lucky. I don't have a very acute case of it. I mean, I do, but there's a lot of people that'll go down. They can't get out of bed. They can't move. They can't sleep. I mean, I never, thank God, never had that. I would just get tired, really tired and exhausted, and my immune system would crash. But I don't have that anymore. So
Cindy, I have had fibro clients also, and the most vivid conversation that I remember with her was she was about on the 5th day, and she was a nurse, so higher educated than the normal human, right? And she said, she calls me up, because of course I talked to you on the first 4 days of program, and on the 5th day I'm sending you your text, but I wasn't, I didn't talk to her. Well, we worked together at the hospital. So she sends me this, she goes, holy cow. I said, yeah, good morning. Right? I said, holy cow, what? And she says, I had no idea that what I was eating was causing my flare and my pain and my fatigue and all of that. She goes, because this is only day 5, I feel amazing and I don't hurt anymore. She goes, I guess it was that nightly ice cream I was having. I said, yep, because you're just not eating food that is causing inflammation anymore. It's so she hadn't lost in 5 days, she hadn't lost that much weight, but she wasn't eating stuff that. And it's interesting. I had a conversation with my mom. So mom has been a client, but mom went on a diet. So mom lost 40 pounds, and then she turned around when she was done with her diet. Then of course she goes back to her old bad habits again. And so she had a knee replacement right before COVID shut everything down. And so I was talking to her the other day, and she's really having a lot of pain during rehab. And she's put the weight back on again. But my dad has been on her like a wrinkle on a raisin the entire time that I can remember, like forever. So she's extremely defensive about, don't talk to her about weight or anything else. And so you have to be very careful on the terminology that you use. So I said, Mama, have you tried eating foods that don't cause inflammation? Mind you, I've had this conversation with her at least 3 times that I can think about. But she says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, stuff that doesn't cause inflammation would be like, don't have any bread, rice, starchy anything, possibly not even fruit, because she loves fruit. I said, why don't you just try eating just like proteins and veggies and see what happens? Really? You think that would help? Oh my God, let me shoot myself. Yes. So she goes, okay, I'm going to try that. Hopefully that'll help. I said, okay, good. Because don't tell her we're going to go back on program, Mom, because then she'll have a reaction like that to it. But if I say we're going to eat clean, which is the same darn thing.
Right. Very good.
So I'll check on her again in a week, but she's just having so much pain when they do rehab, and she's 3 months out now because she's always been a bread, rice, starch eater.
Yeah.
It causes inflammation. So I was like, well, she's not that much of a sugar eater, but like chips and things like that.
I have my aunt hopefully coming on, my mother's youngest sister coming on today, I hope.
Okay.
She's texted me earlier this week and said, I get paid on Thursday. You better be prepared because I'm coming. So she lives now with my grandmother, my mother's mom. And I'm hoping Nana won't go on program. She never will. She wants her bag of little mini Hershey's minis, that's just her. But I'm hoping that maybe even because Jen lives there with her now, that'll switch it. And my Nana's had both knees replaced and everything else. So hopefully it'll help with her pain because she has a really hard time walking around, but she's 92.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, we've seen clients on this program in their 80s do beautifully because the most important part we all know is this whole why I want to do this. Because here's the no, I know what to do. Yeah, but I'm not doing it. They're just not working together. So until we can try that together, it just doesn't happen for sure. So Miss Veronica, since you're here, do you have any questions for us? Anything comes to mind?
No, not right now. I think, like you said, you know what you got to do, but you just don't do it. So I'm going to have to just jump in and do it and see where I go from there, because I have a bad knee from how I fell a couple times on the knee. And I don't want to have surgery on it. And I know I need to drop weight, so I don't have to have surgery on it. So, yeah, I think I'll be calling you later, Cindy.
All right.
You know, because I think that if, and don't think about, so Veronica, don't get overwhelmed with the whole, you need to lose a whole lot of weight, if that's the case, okay? This is what I tell everybody. Try it for 30 days, and I promise you, you're gonna know by the end of your first week how much better you're gonna feel for everything
Okay.
you just heard us talk about. Because,
Okay.
so a lot of times people will extrapolate out, well, it's going to cost $400 a month, blah, 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 blah. I need to lose however many pounds. That's going to tag. And they go into this whole, what we call on our team, the committee gets really loud about, oh my God, I can't afford, blah, 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 and you can't hear reason after that.
Mhm.
Right?
Okay.
And so I promise you, I mean, Cindy, at the end of your first week, tell me what had happened.
I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to spread everything around how I was feeling and tell everybody else. I mean, that's, you know, I didn't think that in the beginning, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going to try this, you know.
Right.
But this coaching is absolutely awesome. I just love it. You know, I talk to people on the phone. I cry with people on the phone. I cheer with people, you know, they're so happy. You know, I got pictures and stuff of the one lady's box coming in and stuff. And then she's like, where I'm talking about the waffle maker. She ordered the waffle maker. She ordered, you know, that to me means I'm ready. You know, I'm ready and I'm going to rock this because I'm going to make this journey forever, you know, that type of thing. You know, when they
Right.
start getting those items and stuff, you know, that's what they're doing, in my opinion.
When we immerse somebody in all of the components, it's just so completely different than just the magic food. So the magic food's pretty amazing and it makes life easy, but you have to jump in and use all of the resources available. So I like reeled one of my clients and I'm like, hello, I haven't heard from you in like 2 weeks. And so, no, I'm doing great. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's good. But remember the 4 components that we talked about, because you need the coach for accountability. We didn't get here in this shape, like being accountable to ourselves. Hello.
Yeah.
Secondly, you have to have this transformation and start working on this part of your head, because if you don't work on this and journal a little bit at a time, this might take you a year to get through, but this is what's going to get you long-term, the mindset.
Okay.
Then you've got this amazing community, which is why we do Coffee with Coaches and why we have our secret Facebook page and the webinars on Wednesday nights, which are wonderful. The one last night was amazing. So let it get through compliance and give it a couple days and it'll be available in the recording, but it'll be awesome.
It was.
Okay.
I love, so the hosts were Pat and Karen Schatzline, and they're both authors and they're used to be pastors and they're in ministry, but the line that he uses all the time just cracks me up. He goes, so you want to live somewhere between amen and there it is. That's his saying.
I like that. Amen.
And he's always, if you listen to him whenever he talks, he'll always slide in a little comment about go Alabama, because Dr. A is like rooting for Florida. And so he knows that my kids are going to play for Alabama and they're going to beat everybody else. And so like the rest goes right back into coaching, but they're just fun, you guys. And this community of ours is amazing. And honestly, the food part it just makes life easy and it's a tool, but it is not the be all end all. So that is just jump in. Your coach is amazing. We've got you right here, Veronica. And if you can every Thursday, well, we have had trainings a lot, which is why we have not had Coffee with Coaches on a weekly basis like we used to when I was in California. So this was the first time that we didn't have a training on top of it, which reminds me, by the way, everybody who is a coach, on Monday and Tuesday night this week, let me look at my calendar, we're having the client support blitz. Okay, so for those of you who are bringing on clients right now, Cindy, it is Monday and Tuesday night at 8 for you and me. So it's immediately after the training call on Monday nights that we usually have. There's Mr. Paul. He's joining us from his Carface as well.
Hey, what's going
How are you,
on?
sir?
Good.
Good.
I just got to school. We're
Okay.
collecting laptops and all that stuff today. Last day.
Yay!
Thank God.
You mean you love teaching, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Ah. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
I thought so.
Look how skinny you look, Paul. Wow.
I
Hi,
know.
everybody.
Hi.
I don't know why my car's beeping.
And he's at his lowest weight yet because he started helping people.
Yeah, it's amazing how much when you're coaching, you have to walk the walk and talk the talk, or whatever they say.
Yep, for sure.
You know, it's all about accountability.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you love most about this, Paul? Really fast before you have to go do something else and you disappear.
Oh, I just love the people. You mean about coaching or?
About the whole journey. We've been telling stories here before you got here.
Boy, it's really hard to choose. I just love the people. That's the number one thing. The Optavia community and all my friends that I've met. I just love that. In terms of coaching, I just love people's amazement when they have non-scale victories.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're in shock. It's almost like they're in shock that the swelling's gone down in their ankles. The digestive issues have gone away. Their clothes are fitting now. The energy level is up. And they're just like, Paul, I just can't believe it. What's going on? My father-in-law's been on this for, I think this is his 4th day. Yeah, it's his 4th day. And he said last night, he's feeling better already. He said, I can feel it.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's, so I think he went into fat burn a little bit early, only because he wasn't a bad eater. He just eating at the wrong time, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But that's what I love. I just love those non-scale victories and the shock and amazement of the non-scale victories.
Well, and your post that you did the other day, share a little bit about that, because that was amazing. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So Megan talked about the other day, she was talking about sobriety on a call. And then I heard John's a new coach. John was talking about being bipolar. And that kind of gave me and I had been thinking about, that's really, when I went into this, Tricia, I don't know if you remember from my initial health assessment, I didn't really go in this for weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for something more meaningful to help me manage the depression and the manic episodes. So that's really why I went in it. So to my amazement, even through the winter, the depression episodes they would still come in. They would still, the negativity would still come in. The unhappiness would still come in, but I started learning to manage it so much better so that they come and go, because I can feel it. And when they start coming in and knocking at the door, it's like, oh God, here we go, So anyways, it was a hard post to write, but I want to include it as part of my story when I'm talking to prospective clients, because that is the key. And I think, Tricia, that's why I've struggled so much with the story component of the health assessment, because I knew in my heart that the real reason I went into this was to help with depression. And it worked, and it just helps so much. So I wrote that post. It was really hard. I still struggle accepting the fact that I have to deal with this, but it's who I am, and I've been fighting this fight since I was 20. I'm 46 now. And I knew when I graduated from high school, something was definitely wrong. Something just wasn't clicking. It was some of the behaviors I would have were just not normal,
Mhm.
and which were symptoms of something much bigger. And I just, I was lucky though to have get hooked up with a doctor in my early 20s, and I still have her as my doctor. And it just took so long to figure out what the hell was going on. I think that's part of the problem with mental illness. I want to say it took about 15 years for them to finally diagnose me and figure out what was wrong so that they could get the meds in line. And I had dieted before, and I had done all kinds of crazy exercise, and it worked, but nothing has ever helped me sustain it. And that's what this has done. This has got this. I can see, I have hope for longevity with this, because everything else would come and go. And I want to say about 6 years ago, I lost 80 pounds. And that was really, truly amazing. But I really don't even know how the hell I did it. So I think I just got lucky, and off it came. I was doing these crazy exercise programs, but nothing sustainable. And it just, I didn't have the healthy habits. I didn't have the way to deal with the emotions. And they're so easy, and they're so practical, and you can do it anywhere. If I'm struggling at work, I can do it. If I'm struggling in the car, I can use those strategies. So that's really a big part of why I love this program so much, because it's realistic. The sustainability and the longevity of it is realistic. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling.
No, I love it.
I love hearing that. I have a lady, I'm not sure if you were on the call with me or not, Trisha, but she lost her son. And she lost her son. I think she's 3 years ago or so now. And she has, I guess there's a weight thing there. She wants to lose 10, 15 pounds. But the big thing with her is depression. She feels just lost. And she thought it would be getting better, but it's getting worse. And that gives me maybe a little bit more of a avenue to talk to her about. I think that maybe that life book would help her a lot.
Yes.
And community. I think that would help.
Paul, tell us, so share,
Yes.
Paul preaches, we've done a lot of calls together. Paul preaches the life book to his clients all the time. Like,
Yeah.
what has been key for you, Paul?
In the life book?
Well, just in the program overall, because that's, what has been helpful for you?
Yeah, the strategies and techniques, and the awareness. Just the awareness. On the call last night, I think it was Pat, or who said they were, oh no, it was the other guy who was ready to do a meeting, and somebody shouted out, "This is the biggest waste of my time."
Yes.
Huge waste of my time.
Yes.
And I love the fact that he stopped, got a drink of water. It's like 15 seconds. 15 seconds sounds like eternity, right? When you're in a situation like that, you talk about awkward silence. But that's that kind of stuff. Stopping and just thinking, processing, get a drink of water, do some deep breathing, and then you're ready to respond. That's the kind of stuff that I use a lot. When the issues and not the issues, but it's a little bigger than the committees. It's negativity. When that stuff starts trickling into my head, and that's with people with depression, it's bigger than a negative mindset. It's real. The negativity is real, and it's hard to rationalize or reason on a typical with somebody dealing with I'm not making sense here.
No, you are. You are.
It's when you're trying to deal with negativity and negative thoughts, and your brain is just sending out those hormones that is not healthy, and it's really hard to reason even with yourself.
Yep.
Even with yourself, self-awareness was not enough. Like I've always been self-aware, but I just didn't know what to do next.
You didn't have a
And
tool.
that's what's that?
You didn't have a tool to help you work through that.
I have a tool. Yeah. I have a new toolbox, and that's what helps me the most. That's what I just love about it.
I think, Paul, that when you're ready to, like we've talked about, so now that today's the last day of school, now that you're ready
Yep.
to wrap up and get busier with your coaching business, I think that if you shared authentically like this in a live video on Facebook,
Yep.
you would touch so many people, because so many people at the same time think this is all about just losing weight. And we all know it's not about that.
Yep.
But they don't know yet because they haven't been exposed to our world, you know?
They don't know. No. And, a lot of people for me, people who deal with depression, I'm guessing, just have such a hard time. Even you're so down and out, you don't even want to help. You just don't want, you just want to be, you want to, I can't. Yeah, I can't explain it. It's just so much easier just to go into a fetal position on the bed with the lights out and the covers over your head. So my hope is that people realize that nutrition is a huge part in managing depression. It is. That's just, there's so much science behind that. But people just don't, we have such a gift. We have such a gift that people can manage it and deal with it and maintain a healthy mindset so much better when they have a bigger toolbox. It's bigger than self-awareness, and that's really what I've learned.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so
Yeah,
glad.
it feels good. And it feels good to get it off your chest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then it's not running around and the committee doesn't have anything to work with because you put it out there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Great. Miss
But-
Thor, do you have anything to say from your CARFAS before we shut it down? I'm so glad you're
Oh.
here. You're not muted even.
What was that?
I said, do you have anything to share from your CARFAS?
No, I just wanted to tell Cindy congratulations on getting the senior coach.
Oh,
And
thank
Paul,
you.
I really appreciate. Yeah, and Paul, I really appreciate you posting. Both of the men that have been watching have contacted me because of your post. So thank
Oh,
you.
great. Awesome.
Teamwork makes the dream work, kids.
Great. I'm so
We're-
glad to hear that.
It's time to come out, Paul. It's time to come out and talk to the world, my friend.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you're building that garage, your office in the backyard. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. Paul has a really cool dream of what he wants to have his, instead of a man cave, he's gonna have an office in the backyard, and he lives in upstate New York. Like when I was there in October last year, it was really cold. And
It
apparently
is.
it's not as cold as it gets.
Yes, it gets even colder.
Yep. All right, kids. Well, awesome. It is time to finish up. I'm glad you guys were all here. I actually have been recording this, so I will save it and put it in our chat. And if you guys need to share it with anybody based on what we've talked about, and then if it's okay with everybody in agreement that we're good to share. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
I will process it and I'll put it in our team chat, and you guys can share it out when you're ready. Okay.
Cindy, congratulations, Cindy.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. See you guys
Have a-
later. Love you.
Have a good
Bye.
one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.